What I wanted to talk about in this video is Prism and Echelon. Echelon was a surveillance network that existed since the 1990s. This was a huge global system that intercepted every digital transmission in the world. Echelon. Echelon, originally a codename, is now used in global media and in popular culture to describe a signals intelligence collections and analysis network operated on behalf of the 5 signatory nations to the UK-USA Security Agreement. Well, Australia, Canada, New Zealand, United Kingdom, the United States, referred to by a number of abbreviations. It has also been described as the only software system which controls the download and dissemination of the intercept of commercial satellite trunk communications. It was created in the early 1960s to monitor the military and diplomatic communications of the Soviet Union and its Eastern Bloc allies during the Cold War, and was formally established in the year of 1971. By the end of the 20th century, the system referred to as Echelon had evolved beyond its military diplomatic origins to also become a global system for the interception of private and commercial communications. The system has been reported in a number of public sources. One of the earliest reports to describe the program, codenamed Echelon, was Duncan Campbell's article Somebody's Listening, published in the New Statesman. The program's capabilities and political implications were investigated by a committee of the European Parliament during 2000 and 2001, with a report published in 2001. Well, it is a global system that exists since the very beginning of satellite transmission technology. It has stations worldwide to intercept any type of digital transmission. And it's also used to cover landmines, to cover land information lines, and scanned it since at least 1995. So if you research this online, then you can see that the system of surveillance already existed since the beginning of the computer era, and that Echelon and Prism are just the same program being driven on. So I am always skeptical when so-called whistleblowers like Edward Snowden come out in the press and get all the attention of the media, the controlled press actually, to spread this news across the world. I believe that Edward Snowden is thinking of doing the right thing, but that he was used as a pawn. That he's leaking this information according in the plans of the Kabbalistic elite that rules over us on this planet. If you do a little bit of research, you will find out that they've been having this surveillance network. Echelon was their first generation of Prism actually. It scanned the whole digital communication, all faxes, all telephone calls went through this central computer system called Echelon. And Echelon was a system, the name suggests that it's like a cascade, that it searched for certain words. And these dictionary type programs just scan for certain words and study in this respect every telephone conversation, and this is done digitally. A computer scans for certain words and then it goes up and up and up the ladder. So the more words you say in a conversation, like terrorism, anti-Semitism, Holocaust revisionism, revolution, lone wolf tactics, even certain names, they all go through the certain cascade type software program. And the higher you get, at the very end, there is an operator, and this operator then checks that certain conversation or email. This was Echelon. This was the system Echelon, as you could have seen in the video that I showed you. It scanned everything globally. Prism, what Edward Snowden leaked, is a system that checks now the entire digital world that is out there, and I believe mostly Facebook and social media like YouTube. Prism is a surveillance program that was built by the NSA. It's a program launched in 2007, and it is a clandestine mass electronic surveillance data mining program launched in 2007 by the National Security Agency with an unknown participation from an unknown date by British equivalent agency GCHQ. Prism is a government code for a data collection effort known officially by the SIGAT, well as US 984XN. The Prism program collects stored internet communication based on demands to internet companies such as Google Incorporated, and so on. It's just a global surveillance network. Here we have the all-seeing eye, yeah, the all-seeing eye of Jaffe on top of a pyramid, yeah, total information awareness. It's a global surveillance program. All these systems scan the input of the data, as you can see in this short video. Face crook, NSA storing your facial web images, millions intercepted daily. If you have Facebook open in a tab, Facebook records all other URL links. If tabs are as well that you open, so every single time you open up a tab while Facebook is active in one of your tabs, it is recorded by Facebook. Facebook then creates a graph of your political and general views. They create a 2D personality graph and that is shared to the NSA. Well, I wrote this actually, and did this, well, Russia Today, portraying the reality that Facebook records every picture of you and puts it actually for facial recognition software. The National Security Agency is collecting millions of images of people through its international surveillance network to be implemented in a number of facial recognition programs, according to documents leaked by Edward Snowden. Thanks to rapid advances being made in the fields of facial recognition technology, the NSA is much better equipped to exploit the flood of images included in email, text messages, social media, video conferences, and other communications, according to an article in the New York Times. Co-written with Laura Potra, who together with Glenn Greenwald are the only two journalists that have received the leaked NSA documents. So after doing some research online, you know that Echelon was the precursor of Prism. Echelon just scanned for certain words. It was a dictionary type software program scanning for certain words, and every single step you made got higher in the line, and at the end it got actually viewed by some real person. Now Prism is different. It also records the words in your activities online. It's virtually the same principle, but the data is 10 million times more than what it was back then. Just believe, like 20 years ago, before the internet era, there was not so much data going through the air. So now Prism has to scan literally hundreds of millions of pictures a day and billions of written communications online. Has to do this, and apparently the article suggests that this is done in real time. Now what they do is they create two-dimensional graphs of you, like in the following video. Now if you Google political personality graph, you get the following pictures. This is an example of a political personality graph. Left, right, authoritarian, libertarian, and here you have as an example the different parties on it. The UKIP, Conservative, Labour as an example. This can be done also in numerous ways. A personality graph is when they record your data and actually try to make a personality graph out of you. Well, this is just a personality graph as an example. Yeah, well, but ours, of course, is more interesting to this graph that puts you on a certain edge. If you know the truth, probably you will be in the right sector. Or if you're a revolutionary, libertarian, or authoritarian. So they make these graphs actually of everybody on Earth. There are over 1 billion Facebook users. At the same time, well, this is the Western world actually, and most of Eurasia, not Eurasia. Actually, China has their own Facebook. Russia has their own Facebook. The global powers in this world all have their own Facebook. And they use this global Facebook and social media in general to actually spy on the population, to see how we react to certain events, like an instigated World War III as an example. What they want to do is the next step, according to the leak of Edward Snowden, which I think was a controlled leak because they controlled mass media and they show us what they want us to see. They actually wanted to tell you that we are watching you every step of the way and that you should not try anything revolutionary as an example. So the powers that be that rule us control this world and are studying us at the same time through their systems. Prism as an example. They create 2D graphs, and at the same time their future of this, well, the future projection of it is that they scan all pictures using facial recognition technology software. This connected to the global surveillance system, like the big cities as London as an example, where in every street corner there's a camera, CCTV cameras everywhere, could lead to a system that could spy on us every single second of the day. Our phones are connected to the internet 24/7, our smartphones, and they can also give up their coordinates. What they want is total information awareness and control. Why, you may suggest this? It's part of the One World government policy. Total information awareness and control. It's not far-fetched. Prism has the ability to scan millions upon millions. It has to scan hundreds of millions of pictures a day, and it adds it to a personality that is made of you, a personality graph or personality, digital personality file of you, of everything what you've written, and then create it in a graph, and then they add the pictures to it, and then see what you do or not do. Couple this now with the banking system, with everything what you buy, all the monetary transactions that you do, and you cannot do any type of transaction without they allowing it. RFID chip as an example. In the future they want to implant a chip under your skin so that you can pay without using your cards. That is their ultimate dream, the so-called mark of the beast of the Bible. So yeah, that is what I wanted to say about the global surveillance network. Let me see. There are books about the subject. I read a novel about the subject that was called Music, the system that scans everything, that scans virtually everything that ever happens, that can be digitally recorded, will be scanned by them. And in the private messages of Facebook you write a lot. But if you really want to instigate a revolution to rid yourself of these evil slaveholders on top of the power, the Kabbalistic elite, then you would have to do it by information exchange. Well, the Arab Spring was not possible without Facebook. Then you see how powerful such a tool is. Or how they can influence practically people also through Facebook. It's called PR, or personal relations. They can influence. There are people who are hired to write certain stuff online, and people who are hired to bully certain people into going back into sleep. There are Zionist agents all the time suspending YouTube accounts and Facebook accounts who speak too much of the truth. So they know it. At the same time, they have their own secret communications. They have the highest technological encryption systems man-made on Earth to communicate in between and to plan this one world order, one world government, one world order policy. They even have systems that are quantum computer secured. I studied cryptology during my mathematics studies in Berlin, and I did one course in cryptology, and there is a system that is quantum computer system secured. So they have the best systems at their disposal to talk in between and to keep a secret, to communicate in secret among themselves and keep planning this over and over again. But we see them, we actually caught them red-handed. 9/11 is like an example. And if you research the truth online, you will find out the truth online about them. But I just want to say that they have the best systems at their disposal to keep everything what they're doing and saying in between each other a secret, and at the same time they're scanning us, our reactions on Facebook to certain events. As a matter of fact, they're not pushing for war anymore. At the very beginning, NATO and the former Warsaw Pact were all moving warplanes and troops to the regions of Ukraine, and NATO was moving warplanes and even troops into Poland and so on, and now they're pulling back. Maybe we reacted in a fashion that they didn't anticipate? I don't know. I don't know what their plans are. Well, what I wanted to add is that Edward Snowden probably acted in his own goodwill and thought that he was doing the right thing, and it's not bad actually to know this, but I know that the media is under Zionist control, and that he would not get attention from the media if it weren't for a reason. I believe they want us to know that we're being surveillanced, that there is a total surveillance system going on, and that all the people who find out stuff on the internet, like conspiracy theories and the truth about 9/11, about Holocaust revisionism, the Third Reich, the Second World War, and practically all wars since then, they want you to know that that they are checking on us in such a fashion that you do not venture any further, that you're scared to go any further or express yourself in any way. So they use this to control us even further, because when I woke up in 2007, I was totally scared of the system. I was giving out red flags on the way, speaking, and of course you let out a digital trail. Now with Facebook and all other social media systems online, this can be actually known and gathered, and it will make you fearful of not doing anything. Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Cheers!